So, as usual, we'll start our meditation, first of all, by relaxing our bodies. So, make sure that you are sitting in a way that is comfortable, and it is important to keep your upper body upright so as to stay awake. I have to do this especially because it's coming close to my bedtime already. So, and then allow the floor or the chair to hold you instead of you trying to hold yourself, so that you can relax and allow the body to settle down. We could use just a few parts of our body to just get established into here and now. So if you wish, you can just see, become aware of your jaw. You can check out your jaw with your mind's eye and see whether you can just allow the jaw to relax. And then you can become aware of your tongue and allow your tongue to relax as well. And take some time to become aware of your eyes and the areas around your eyes. And also relax all those areas, including your eyes. Become aware of your forehead. Also relax your forehead. Become aware of your cheeks and other muscles on your face. And relax all of those muscles. If you wish, it's a good time to bring up a beautiful smile. And also notice with a smile how your mind starts to relax. For the next little while, we have nothing to do, nowhere to go, just happy to be here. You can always use the touch sensations of your palms or your feet to ground yourself into the body and into here and now. So the idea is not to allow the mind to give attention to the thinking mind, and instead give full attention to the sensations in the body. As you're becoming aware of the present, as your body and mind is settling down, if you can see the breath naturally going in, naturally going out, you can place attention on the natural flow of the breath and have awareness about it's going in and it's going out. It's going in and it's going out. Going in and going out. As we are coming close to the end of this guided meditation, take a bit of time to notice, how do you feel right now? How is your body? And how is your mind? And now I invite you to take 3 long, deep breaths. And at the end of the last one, you can open your eyes and come out of meditation. So, just before the starting of the talk, I was asking the Zoom audience there whether there is something that they would like me to talk about, and one of the members mentioned how when there is a difficult emotion, that you would just stay with it and learn to stay with it as a way of dealing with it. So it's kind of interesting. Like I've been in Hamilton in this nuns residence for almost a week, and every day I've been giving multiple Dhamma talks, either to a larger group or to a smaller group, and been discussing all sorts of things. But yesterday we had a group here who regularly gather to discuss mindfulness, but they're not restricted just to the Theravada Buddhist practice, but just mindfulness in general. And of course, my Dhamma talk was about the Theravada Buddhist mindfulness and how that applies. But of course, I asked the group, what have they been practicing and what kind of teachings have they been sharing, so that I could relate to what they've been already doing, and then maybe see whether it was whether how Theravada Buddhist teachings might fit. And to my great surprise, there was pretty good alignment in there. And what they mentioned, one of the practices that they do is called stop. STOP. Right. So and there's much more meaning to this, and maybe I will explain that first, and then maybe go from there. So whenever, for whatever reason, like in the past also, we have used this idea of with eyes we receive the world, with our ears we receive the world, yeah, with our tongue, nose, body, with all of those 5 external senses, every wakeful moment we are constantly receiving experience as we contact with the eye, with the ear, nose, body, and tongue. And as we receive the world, certain things can get triggered inside of us, good or bad, right? So sometimes we receive something and we become very joyous. We become happy. We have lots of affection coming up, maybe desires coming up, anger coming up, worry, fear, all kinds of things can come up inside of us. Sometimes we might become aware that we have a strong emotion, And maybe it is not because of something that we received from outside, but just by body, right? Sometimes just purely due to sickness, digestion, neurotransmitters in your body. Also, you could have a very strong emotion. Whatever it is, when you have that kind of high impact experience that is in the negative side, that is when we want to do something about it, right? Not when it is in the positive side. So we are now trying to see how can we, what was this idea of stop? So when we realize that we have a high impact situation happening, triggering some kind of difficult feeling or emotion inside of us, the general tendency is to react to it, right? Immediately. Immediately trying to impulsively react in some way, one way or the other. Even during the Dhamma talk today, we were talking about, we will scream, run, or try to kill the situation is quite common reactions. However, we know often, when we react in these kinds of way, they are coming from a sense of self, from fear, from ego, or from desire, from ill will, all these kinds of stuff. This is what is triggering a lot of our reactions, and they are conditioned into us through a long time in this birth and death, this samsara, what we call samsara. However, as we are progressing on the spiritual path, it is much better, instead of a reaction, if we can give a response. Now, response has a mindful engagement. So this is where this idea of mindfulness is very helpful all the time. And so this stop starts with really stopping, right? In the sense like, instead of trying to impulsively react, just establishing a bit of mindfulness by preconditioning ourselves, saying even this Dhamma talk can work as conditioning for you, that when there is kind of a high impact situation happening, an emotion is getting triggered, and if you can catch yourself from that impulsive reaction, often you can, you're not doing this. Problem is you really want to do it. But if you have learned enough lessons in your life from your impulsive reactions, then you get a bit of incentive. Come on, I got to be a bit more wise than this. I've been silly and done foolish things enough times. So when you have that kind of thing sets inside, if you really accept that that's true, I've actually, been there, done that many times, and yes, it was a bit not the right thing to do, then you will be able to initially stop, hold yourself from that reaction. That's the number one. So then the letter S doesn't only have the idea of stop, but it also says sit. Very important, yeah? When you're standing, sometimes it's harder, but when you sit down, there is a little bit of a slowing down in the mind. If it's really, really hard, even lie down. Very good, because when you lie down, your mind also slows down. There is something related with the body and the mind. But sit. And also the letter S has the idea of become still. Yeah, it is hard, but the idea of I want to become still, just stop. Even if it is kind of controlled, that's all right. Just become still for a moment. Calm down. Yeah, so the idea, the letter S and the letter T is for take a moment to breathe, and very important, breathe out slowly. Have a long, slow, deep breathe out. So very good when you actually have a strong emotion, whatever it is, to just take the time to breathe. That gives that few second break from reacting. Yeah, because that become stop, sit, become still, take a moment to take a breath and breathe out slowly, releasing. Not just one, you can take few breaths out and in. That gives you that few seconds break. It makes a world of a difference to how you're going to respond, because by this time your mindfulness is going to kick in with hopefully wisdom. Some teachings will come to your mind because there's enough gap. Now it's no longer reaction. Reaction has now passed. Now you have come into the mode of response. So you can still respond foolishly if you are conditioned by wrong view, but hopefully as Dhamma practitioners, having listened to so many Dhamma talks in your life, hopefully some of the useful teachings will now kick in as well. So O, so ST, then comes O. O is to first of all observe. Observe what? Right? So now you're observing the body. So see, with that emotion coming in, what kind of bodily sensations are you feeling? How is your body reacting to this? Is it heating up? Is it shaking? Is it cooling down? Where do you feel anything? How is your body reacting to this situation, in this situation? Recognize clearly what is the emotion. Observe the emotion. Yeah, the clarity, because some emotions are mixed. And sometimes we can misunderstand our emotion as well. But take a bit of time to get to know your emotion clearly. Observe what is the emotion. And the next one is also really, really important. Observe how you're attending to it, how you're thinking about it, what is going on in your head. There is a chatter involved with this. There is some kind of story or way of thinking, there's some words going inside of your head. What is that? What is the story? What is the story that you're saying? So observe that. So that is observing internal things. Take some time, right? So you're slowly slowing down, getting to understand what's going on and preparing for your response. And then also observe outside. So observe your environment. If there are other people, what's going on with them? I was just telling when they were saying this, yes, you could be a mom with the child on the pram and something happened and you got lost in your emotion and maybe the pram started rolling downhill. And while you are so involved with your strong emotion, your child might be rolling away from you, right? So it is important at these kinds of time because you lose your perspective, your perceptions, everything. But that is dangerous, yeah. And maybe this is happening, but there's a raging fire coming. So this is not the time to then stay there and become freeze. You got to run, yeah. So whatever it is, you got to observe also the outside. The people, are they becoming violent? Are they going to harm you? Or what is the situation? This is really important. So observe, not just inside and get so lost inside your own thing, also observe. But also very important if it is an interaction with the other person, to observe their body language. What are they saying? How are they saying? Observe that too, not just get only lost inside of you, but observe. And then comes STOP, proceed. Yeah, proceed with care. That means that's the time you're going to respond now. Proceed with kindness and wisdom. Now you've had enough time, enough break to be able to bring this on, right? With kindness and wisdom. But you can also add kindness and wisdom. You can also add the idea of patience. This is really, really important. Now, in this occasion, if your response is going to really stay with the emotion, for example, you don't have to really deal with the person or the situation just yet, but first of all, you're going to take care of this thing, becoming calm down, dealing with that. The idea of patience is very important. Now, how do you become patient properly? Patient properly. It's not with gritting teeth and saying, when is this going to, I'm patient, I'm waiting for it to pass, it's going to pass. When is it going to pass? This is not patience, right? Patience is not waiting for something to happen. Patience is waiting to see how to best serve the present moment, how to best deal. Ajahn Brahm often says it's like a waiter, a good waiter. A good waiter is not waiting to see when are they going to stop and give me a tip. But a good waiter is really waiting there to see what the client needs. Yeah. What do they need now? Should I fill the glasses? Should I bring something in, top them up, whatever it is, so that they can get a good tip later because you've been serving really well. But alert and attuned into the needs of the present moment. So patience has a lot of things that comes with it. Yeah, and this is actually the most powerful technique that the Buddha said to deal with defilements. Kanti paramang tapo titika. So I'm saying it in Pali to say that this is what the Buddha said. This is the word of the Buddha in his own language. So patience and acceptance is the highest of the spiritual practices to deal with difficulties and defilements. Tapo means they had the idea of burning, right? Heating and burning out all the defilements, evaporating them. Yeah. But the best practice to deal with these defilements is patience and acceptance. So this word kanti, kanti is the word, even though we translate it as patience, it's not good enough. It's like metta, the word metta in Pali also needs like a whole paragraph or even a couple of pages to really get the idea of what it is and what it is not properly. In the same way, the idea of Kanti is also a little bit like that. Kanti has a few things. Kanti is about sort of waiting, but waiting in the right way. How do you wait? So first of all, you have to have some wisdom. It is with wisdom that we accept what is going on. So that all that we did, observing, understanding, looking at the way you're thinking about it, what is going on, your reactions, their reactions, all of that, and then using the teachings of the Buddha, using right view. Yeah, using right view. You look through that situation now with right view. And when you look at it, you're going to be able to accept it with understanding and with wisdom, not accepting things with willpower, not accepting things with fear, not accepting things with that kind of ego. Because, I must, because others might think you've been practicing for 20 years, can't you deal with this? Not like that, yeah, not with the ego, not anything like this. With wisdom, understanding causality, conditions that gave rise to these situations, why you are reacting like this, so why this is happening and why that is, all of that as much as possible. So acceptance comes in. But Kanti Metta, so Kanti, the word also goes hand in hand with this idea of Metta. These days I've been using the term affection for metta, and I feel that that is quite close to the real metta. Metta is a very simple emotion, something that we have already come in built in us, just like anger, right? Did you ever learn books and books and read so much about how to get angry? No, right? You can't even remember. You were so little, you were already able to get angry by yourself. Same, affection too. Did you have to learn about how to get affection? No, affection also came in. Yeah. So anger and affection, they're the opposite one. So affection is a very simple form, and that's actually very close to metta, because affection does not necessarily have all the attachments and all of that. This is like kind of that affection to your neighbor's little child or the little dog that you see on the beach. When you see, you get like a really beautiful feeling, that kind of feeling. So that's metta. So it is important as you're waiting for things to pass, because right view is everything is changing. All our mind states change, situations change. So that is that acceptance. But you wait with the heart, with affection, because without affection, waiting is actually going to be difficult. But now you would think, now I have a strong emotion. I have fear inside of me. I have anger inside of me. What is she talking about? Bringing up metta. Sometimes we know when we have a strong emotion, it is not that easy to bring up, but affection is possible. The idea of metta and stuff may be difficult. But whatever it is, if it is not metta or affection, you might be able to bring up compassion, either a bit of compassion for yourself for having to deal with this. Yeah, you too are another being, yeah, a being having to go through a being in samsara like everybody else. All unenlightened beings are essentially, very, very similar. They all have the same kind of defilements. Your anger is the same as my anger, and their anger, your anger is anger. Love is love, desire is desire, sadness is sadness. So unenlightened beings have all of these. So essentially, our emotional makeup is pretty much the same. So if you can have compassion for all these other people who are suffering, why can't you have compassion for yourself when you're going through something? So you can bring up a little bit of compassion, not sadness, but compassion. May I be free from suffering? May things pass? So some kind of softness is possible, especially after you started to sit, to observe, have a little bit of time in the beginning because you've done a few processes. So your attention is broken because the way of how you're thinking about the thing is what keeps up that emotion. Essentially, that's what it is. Yeah. The moment you break that way of thinking, the emotion starts to die down. Our problem is we bring it back again because we start thinking again like that. Only where, as long as you keep up that manasikara, it is called, yeah, manasikara sambhava sabbe dhamma. So all of these emotions, dhammatas, are given rise to by attention, how you attend on this thing. So when you do that other process by stopping, observing your body, so they are giving attention to the observing how the physical sensations are. At that very time, that attention to the way of thinking is broken. So very skillful means observing, and that itself, how you're thinking. Again, you see, oh, it's foolish way to think about it. You might be able to just let it go because you see your anger or fear or whatever desire is kept up by that way of thinking. So all of that is actually going to help you to sort of break the momentum of whatever that happened. You will notice that it's actually start to go down a bit. When its strength loosens, there is a possibility to invite one of those Brahma Viharas. So I said invite, yeah? So not force, just invite and see whether it can come up. Yeah, so sometimes it may be able to come up and you might be able to bring up a bit of affection or compassion or at the very least, a little bit of equanimity. Yeah, a bit of stability to see, yeah, well, it's only this much. This is what it is. This is what I am feeling. This is what I am going through. It's this much, but you know for sure it's going to pass. Because what happens to the last anger you had? Gone, right? What happened to the last fear you had? Also gone. The desires, also gone. The worries, also gone. So you know they change and they can change pretty quickly as well. That too, we know. So therefore, once you also know that, then you have that confidence. Okay, never mind. However long, instead of rejecting it, you have the idea of, okay, accept it again. So patience was patience, acceptance. So you accept it, never mind, let it be, and it's okay. You allow it to be. Now you're not waiting there foolishly. Yeah, not you're not waiting there with in a way with any wrong view. You're waiting there with the right view. You're waiting there with wisdom. You're waiting there with kindness, with understanding. So these kinds have now come in to you. So even though it is painful, even though the emotion is strong, you're not holding on to it tenaciously. This is our problem. We hold on to that and we don't want to let it go. We want to keep our anger. We want to keep our sadness. This is the strange things. We human beings are very funny. We say we want to be happy, but we love to hold on to our sufferings. Don't want to let them go. This is the thing, right? The moment we realize this, we just loosen our grip on those things. And then it starts to fade away. It has to fade away. This is the nature. This is what the Buddha said, idea of impermanence. Yeah. So you know after a while that all of these things are like clouds in the sky. Can you hold on to a cloud and say you look beautiful? Can you stay? We can't, no? It just passes. Some clouds pass by very fast, depends on the wind. Some stays a little longer. But regardless, the yesterday's clouds are not here. Not even the clouds in the morning or clouds a little while ago. It's passed away. Another thing, it's like the wind on the trees. Yeah, it blows, but it doesn't blow away the tree. The wet wind passes through and it stops, it settles down. So these kind of perceptions are also quite helpful as you wait there, as you wait, because even the strongest part of the emotion has gone down, the painful side has gone down. It takes a while for everything to settle down and turn around because we want to be in the positive side. But sometimes these things are very sticky, very gluey, it leaves a bit of a mark. So it takes a little while for it to all go away. So in that time, yeah, so in that time you can have that perceptions of cloud passing through or the wind passing through. And you just wait there. And once that strong feelings have passed away, then you're going to be able to respond properly and address the situation properly. See what happened, what gave rise to this. And why did I have that kind of reaction within me or response inside of me as well? And why did I think about this? Is there something wrong with my view? Yeah, the way I deal. Because this is very often a very important thing. Now, one of the ladies tonight after the talk was talking to me and was telling how she's been very generous all of her life, doing so many good things, looking after her family, her parents, her friends, and so many nice things to everybody. But nobody appreciates it. And, all kinds of things. And she feels a bit hurt. For so long I've been doing, nobody does, I'm getting so tired. So I told her, I'm sorry to say, I think you have a bit of a wrong view. You have to change your view. This is where the problem is, right? That is why. And this is painful sometimes, right? So, and I said, I was actually lucky when I was little, already about 6 years of age. My father gave me some very good advice. So I shared this with her. So my father was also a very, very generous person, extremely kind and extremely generous, helped everybody and anybody, so many people. How I know this is also after he passed away. When he has passed away, the dead body was at home for like 10 days. And so many people came because my mother took a long time to come back. She was overseas, so that's why we had to keep. And then she wasn't ready to let him go. So 10 days, so many people coming and telling all these things, how what he had done, big and small things. So I knew. But anyway, because he realized I was also sort of taking up his kind of things, maybe, or naturally also maybe I had that inclination. When he realized that I was also had a tendency to be a bit generous, even at the age of 6, he one day actually took me to a side and had a conversation. He said, now, before you do something kind and generous, especially generosity, helping somebody, you have to consider three things. So this is him bringing right view into my mind. So he said, consider three things. First one, when you do an act of generosity somebody, don't expect them to say thank you. Oh, well, that's fine. I don't mind somebody not saying thank you. Second one, don't expect them to do something in return for you. Say, I did this for you. Now it's your turn to do something back for me. Don't do it with that attitude. Don't expect them to do anything back. That's fine too. I can deal with that. Third one is the one that you're going to be surprised and then you're going to agree and shake your head. Okay, ready? Third one, he said, expect those people that you have been generous to do something that is bad and difficult for you. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Yeah, are you shocked? But are you not shocked? You're not shocked. You heard this, yeah? This happens. People that you go out of the way to help do incredible acts of generosity, sometimes stab you on the back. Quite common stories everywhere in the world. Sometimes you go out of your way to try to help somebody to get a job in your own company or in the company that you're working for. And then few years down the track, that very person is the one who tries to do something to get you out of job and get you out of that company. This is so common. Yeah. Why people do that? This is where our wrong view said, oh, people should know that. They should be kind to the people who've been kind to you. They forgot. Human beings have defilements. Some of the defilements are very, very strong. They are in real thick darkness, yeah? Or they don't have eyes, completely no eyes. They can't see. I mean, who in their right mind would do that, right? But they do this. That is the power of defilements. They really can't see. They are in the darkness. That's why they do this. Our wrong view is to see, not being able to see the power of defilements. Because they look like, intelligent adult people, they should know, but they don't know. That's why people do. Our expectations, that's the wrong view. So, right view is to expect human beings, as yet unenlightened. There's a whole range of defilements. You can't say everybody's like me. And we also may not see our own defilements as well sometimes. Other people see, but we can't see. So therefore, we have to change our view. This is just a small thing just to describe what I meant by, changing view, because a lot of the times, a lot of these triggers, why we get triggered by things and end up with a lot of emotions is a lot of the views that we have taken up. And a lot of these things are actually wrong views. We get upset because of something. In the sense, in the worldly value, there may be a right view. But with the Dhamma way, it is a wrong view. Now, some people might get upset. I am apologize, but this is just a example, but it's a very important example. Now, the people who are greeny, right, who are called as greeny, who get really upset when lots of damage is done to the nature, trees are being cut, and all this is done, of course, it's not the right thing. But when you see people doing that, if you get angry, is that useful? But do you see people like that getting very angry, going and shouting at other people, putting up a fight, try to even harm these other people? And that's not right. Yeah. So this is the thing. Sometimes you tenaciously hold on to your view. And when other people do the opposite, of course, they are doing something not is that is harmful, hurtful, wasteful, whatever. Yes, what they are doing is probably wrong. But our problem is getting angry about it, getting upset about it, getting all worked up about these things. You can do something about it skillfully, or else, well, you can't control everybody else. Yeah, and you can't impose your view onto the other people. People have the choice to take whatever view they want. And different people have different worldviews, and we just have to respect their view. Whether right or wrong, their business. We can't force, we can educate them, they can provide information, but we can't really shout at them and do bad things. That's worse than what you're trying to do the right thing. This is even more wrong than the other thing. So this is where we get wrong as well. So try and see what is triggering these feelings, emotions, all these views and concepts and conventions that we have taken up. We are really trapped in our mind, really incredibly trapped in our mind. All of these perceptions, conventions, views really make us slaves, make us to do things that we should not be doing. So view is very important. So in fact, we always say be mindful, be mindful. Mindfulness is so important, yes. But have you catch yourself many times that you have been mindful? You know, but you can't stop and you do the wrong thing. You feel like your eyes are now open, fully knowing, fully seeing you go and jump inside the burning hot coal pit. Have you done that? I have done that too myself. Yeah, this happens. Why is that? Not because you didn't have mindfulness, you were mindful, but you had a very strong view. So we need to correct our view as well. So just mindfulness isn't enough. Mindfulness need right view. So that is why the basis of right mindfulness is right view and virtue. Both have to be there. So that is where we catch ourselves. Yeah, we are mindful, 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 but can't do because we have a wrong view, and the view stops us from taking the right action. So really important. So finding out our views, exploring why am I getting triggered by these things? Why are these strong emotions coming up? So all this you do when the mind is in a good state, not while you're under the problem. So you deal with the problem by waiting in the right way, and there are other ways as well dealing with it. And once you are in a good state, after meditation, after you have some joy, explore and find out what was causing, where was I getting into this problem. All the mind related issues can be fixed, body related, limited. Even there's only what so much the medicines can do. So, but with the mind, it can be fixed, it can be changed. So, this is really good to understand. And one other last thing that I want to say about this waiting with a strong emotion is that there can be a danger to some people at some times, to each one of us, and that is how much mental energy or strength you have beneath, not in on the surface, but underneath. How do you know this? Is as you wait for a little while, if you feel that you're going down and down and down and getting sucked in and the negative momentum is picking up, obviously you're not doing all of those steps in the stop or any one of those, and sometimes you are unable to do it as well. So if you see that, then that is not the right time to just wait with it, because you are going and it is building up. You don't have enough mental energy to be waiting with patience and acceptance. And that is fine, because there are times our minds are weak, maybe due to sickness, maybe due to so many reasons. Yeah, our minds may not be so strong at that time. Then the recommended thing by the Buddha's teachings is to change the object, get up and go for a walk, remove yourself out from the situation, read something inspiring, whatever it is. You have to sort of have another inspiring object to change the attention. And just by changing the attention, it feels like you're running away, but it's a very skillful mean. Yeah, then this is given by the Buddha. If you want, check Majjhima Nikaya Vitakka Santana Sutta. It gives how you go gradually to different objects. So there are many different ways to deal with difficult emotions. So we have to be very careful. Sometimes when you notice it's not the right time, to just wait with it. And other time, but don't do it very quickly. You have to wait for a little while to see. And even if it is unpleasant, if you see that it's not actually going down, then you can wait, and then it might just subside slowly, slowly. Very good, best way to deal with it as well in a way, but you do need a strength of mind. So this is why when you do have a good state of mind, when you have joy states, build up the strength, don't waste it. When you do have good mind states, build up meditation, get more power in, and you build up that, and you're ready to face life. So when these unexpected things happen, you have a source beneath, you're strong. So at the surface, even if it is really difficult, you will be able to stay with it. But other times you can't. So it depends on the person, depends on the practice, depends on where you are at. So you have to make a good judgment about it. So these are some of the things that I would like to share today with that topic. And to say that all of those steps that is in a very common, more like Western, what do you call, what's the word for all the religions, like more secular type of mindfulness, it is coming in, but it's really directly also in the Buddhist teachings. It is what is that sati, sampajanya, mindfulness and clear comprehension, and then understanding the process of contact, yeah, how that works. So all of that is there, but it is described in a useful way, so we can take it on board, and you can see it's actually also in the Buddha's teachings, the way to deal with these things. So, but it's nice to present slightly differently, that I learned yesterday from the mindfulness group. And then I pretty much spoke about some of these things, not exactly with them. Anyway, so now is the time for any questions, either from the people on the floor here or from people on the Zoom.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the talk. It was very helpful.
Okay.
And I really liked the story about your father's teaching.
Oh, good merit
Very,
for father.
very wise.
Yeah.